Hi everyone, hello. My name is Jolene, I'm curator at the National Gallery Singapore. With me here is Shaida Iskandar, also a curator at the Singapore Art Museum. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight for the October gathering. I'll just share a little bit more about the performance and concert tonight. The Concert for the Haunted was conceived as a sonic program accompanying the October gathering. For this, we invited artists, musicians, and movement artists to respond to the thematic threads arising across the program. Together, they explore how the binaries of self and other, nature and culture, and body and mind continue to haunt us even in the present. Through encouraging deep listening, the concert seeks to unearth neglected but deep connections between us humans and the non-human, and proposes a realliance with intuitive and embodied ways of knowing. This evening, we're incredibly excited to have Kamal Sabran here with us, with his collaborators, Arif, Syimah, Sabtu, and as well as a new collaborator, Tika. I'll leave Shaida to do the introductions.
Thank you, Jolene. Hello, everyone. Before we hand over the time to our performers, I'd like to share a bit on what we're expecting this evening. The performance, titled SEMBUH, which means healing, is based on Kamal's sound therapy research on performance as a method for Malay traditional healing. The project offers an alternative take on the revitalisation of the Angin, which means wind, transpiring within the panggung, which means physical space, through an immersive sound and dance experience. Anchoring the panggung and charging the space with aural energy, the performance led by Kamal and his collaborators, musician Arif Ayab, movement artist Syimah Sabtu, and sound artist Taquidin, intend to move the public towards healing and recovery. Julie and I are very excited to have them here today, and before we begin, I'd like to quickly introduce the performers. Kamal Sabran is a Malaysian artist academic researcher. He received his PhD in art and design focusing on new media from Universiti Teknologi MARA. Existing at the intersections of art, science, and technology, his research focuses on art-based interventions for mental health and well-being. Experimental music, performance art, and electronic installations are among his artistic endeavours. He received the Malaysian National Art Gallery's Best New Media Artist Award for Young and Contemporary in 2004. He is also the founder of the space Gambus Experiment, an experimental music, sound art collective, and the Ipoh Experimental Art School, a creative space that produces experimental art projects. He is currently an editor for Wacana, Seni Arts Discourse journal and a senior lecturer at the Universiti Sains Malaysia in Penang. Arif Ayab, also known as Riff, is a Singaporean multidisciplinary artist who has been active in the local and international art scene since 2008. His production explores multiple media such as music and sound, performance, installation, and video. Syimah Sabtu is a dance artist from Singapore. Syimah's movements are rooted in traditional Malay dance and contemporary dance. Her artistic practice examines the kinetic state of the body and the spaces that we occupy through exploring layered connections between personal histories, narratives, and beliefs nestled within. Lastly, we have Taki, who is a Malaysian-based sound artist, researcher, and a neuropsychologist of music. He works with multisensory integration or cross-modal correspondences, which revolves around studying the neuropsychology of the human perception in music, visual, and geospatial perception. So thank you all for being here with us, and please stay on after the performance. We'll have a short Q&A with all the performers, and without further ado, please join Julie and I in welcoming them to the stage.
Ketika dunia mendorong dirimu untuk berlutut, kamu berada dalam posisi yang sempurna untuk berdoa. Aku mencintai permasalahanku kerana aku tahu yang memberi bermasalahku juga mencintaiku. Istirahatkanlah dirimu dari kesibukan mengurus duniamu. Urusan yang telah Allah atur tak perlu kau sibuk ikut campur. Ketika hatimu terlalu berharap pada seseorang, maka Allah akan tumpahkan atas dirimu pedihnya suatu pengharapan, supaya kamu mengetahui bahawa Allah mencemuri hati yang berharap pada selain Dia. Jangan katakan kepada Allah, aku punya masalah besar. Tetapi katakanlah kepada masalah bahawa aku punya Allah yang Maha Besar. Saat doaku dikabulkan, aku bersyukur kerana itulah keinginanku. Dan saat doaku tidak dikabulkan, aku lebih bersyukur kerana itulah keinginan Allah. Biarlah kebaikanmu seperti hujan yang tidak peduli kepada siapa ia jatuh. Sekarang yang membuatmu gelisah bukanlah musibah yang memujikan, tetapi bahasa rindu Allah yang gagal kau fahami. Jika engkau ingin mengetahui kedudukanmu di sisinya, maka perhatikanlah di mana dia menempatkanmu. Di antara tanda kejayaan di akhir perjalanan adalah kembali kepada Allah. Sejak awal permulaan, jangan hitung berapa kali orang menyakitimu, tetapi hitunglah berapa kali kau mendekati Allah, dan Allah tidak meninggalkanmu. Jangan sedih, kerana Tuhan mengirimkan harapan di saat-saat yang paling putus asa. Jangan lupa, hujan yang paling lebat keluar dari awan yang gelap. pernah ada 1000 keinginan. Tetapi dengan satu keinginan untuk mengenalmu, semuanya senyap. Ketika lisanmu digerakkan untuk meminta, berarti dia hendak memberimu. Allah tidak menciptakan sesuatu yang lebih kuat melebihi doa. Dia telah menjadikan doa lebih kuat daripada takdirnya. Apabila sesuatu yang kau senangi tidak terjadi, maka senangilah sesuatu yang terjadi. Jika kamu lebih dalam berbuat kebaikan, maka lebih lelah itu akan pergi dan kebaikan akan tetap abadi. Tidaklah Allah mengilhamkan seseorang untuk beristighfar. Tidak lain bertujuan untuk mengampuni hamba tersebut. Puasa adalah api. Kerana dengan berpuasa, nafsu dan keinginan duniawi kita akan terbakar. Perbaikilah hatimu, kerana jika hati telah baik, segala tingkah lakumu akan menjadi baik. Apabila suatu yang kau senangi tidak terjadi, maka senangilah suatu yang terjadi. Jika kamu lelah dalam berbuat kebaikan, maka lelah itu akan pergi dan kebaikan akan tetap abadi.
Yeah, we'll just jump right into Q&A. I'll just start with saying that the light is very bright here, so if you see us squinting, that's because we can't see any of your faces. So please bear with us. Maybe we can perhaps start with a question for you, Kamal. We know that this performance began as an expansion of your performance Ssegar Angin, which was presented at the Venice Biennale this year. And I wonder whether maybe just for the audience and us, whether you can share a bit more about the background of this performance and how tonight's performance and yesterday's was an expansion of it. You know, how did your ideas develop since then?
Thank you for the question. Suara betul bukan? Okay. So ini suara saya yang sebenarnya lah. Tadi bukan. Tadi I use the effect. So this is real one. Thank you for coming, everybody. And I would like to thank National Gallery to invite us. And SEMBUH is something that coming from the healing performances inspired from Mayong and also the healing performance in Malay tradition, for example, like Mentari. So it's all about exploring the sound frequency and the movement to heal someone. So this, what we did is not the original one, of course. But what we did is just what we call the inspired and the adaptation of the modern and contemporary approach between the electronics, sound frequency, sound wave, and also the acoustic For example, like here we have sitar and also the cello and everything else. So the crossover between between the frequency from the acoustic we manipulated using the synthesizer, and also this one here, this modular synthesizer bring by Taquidin. And also Taquidin also has the what we call the research about the brain, right? So it's modern contemporary. So I also my research is all about the well-being and mental health. So working with Syimah and also with Arif, this is what our apa kita panggil tu? Collaboration. So the collaboration between us actually is more like a spontaneity, no rehearsal, no nothing. We just imagine the sound before, and then we try to project as a live performance. So everything is just in one piece, one shot, no repetition. So that is what we can relate with Mak Yong and also Maitri back in Malay traditional healing.
Maybe just make a comment. Maybe some of you have came down yesterday to watch performance, and the performance today and yesterday was actually quite different. So a lot of what you watch is actually an improvisation. It's not a rehearsal, and also how they all kind of respond to how Kamal is also creating the music. Yeah.
Right, so I guess there were a lot of ideas there about how sound and performance is a modality of healing for all of you in your own research and practices. And Kamal, you have been working in this area and researching this area for a very long time. And you're always exploring the links between sound movement and mental health. And what Shahida and I find so fascinating is the way you work across arts, sciences, and also in a very spiritual manner. I wonder whether you can maybe share with us more about the position of spirituality in your practice is like, and how that has informed your approach. And maybe you can speak more to that.
This is a very hard question. I mean, when you speak spirituality, it's something that you can't see, something that you have to feel your own, right? So every one of us has this, what we call a personal journey towards this searching for the truth, like, and the truth is different from each other. And for me, for example, I've been through and also still working on it. I'm still walking towards it to find my truth. And somehow I feel that, and I experience things that I believe that God has answered me in many occasions, in many prayers, through belief in Islam, what we call iman. So without iman, you cannot believe in the truth, even though the truth is coming towards you every moment. So in order to get the truth, it's not your choice, it's not our choice. It's about the God who chose you. When He loves you, He will pick you up and bring and show.
Thank you for sharing. I'm also very interested then how, what happens when this is opened up, this side of your practice is opened up for collaboration. And as you do often in your practice, maybe I can invite your collaborators to maybe share, reflect on the last two performances and to share their thoughts on it. Maybe Syimah, if you don't mind, I would like to start with you. Perhaps you can share about your reflections on yesterday's and tonight's performance.
I think as shared with by Kamal, we've not really rehearsed. So what you get is what you see is what you get. I think that's also the beauty of it, to not over rehearse. You trust in the process. I think yesterday's and today's performance is not entirely the same, although we do have a structure, like a score, but we are open to respond to each other and create new materials as we go along. And that's roughly what happened yesterday and today. Yeah. Perhaps Arif can further share or elaborate.
From the time Kamal landed, the whole process of communicating with him and Syimah, the idea morphed into a new, or should I say, an idea where it's related to this space, where you all know that this is an old building where people are sentenced for hang, and people who are sentenced for long sentences, short sentences, and also the cane. So basically, the idea from Kamal's concept, it morphed into a relationship of ghosts, and also, I guess ghosts is from all the people who have been hanged, and healing for all the people who got caned. And there is a relationship there from his concept leading to the whole practice, the whole performance that we have here. Yeah.
Thank you. What about you, Taki?
Hello, I'm very happy to be part of this performance. Like usual, Dr. Kamal is a multidisciplinary artist. So what we have here is like a healing for everyone who comes here, with the sounds and also with the space, healing the space, healing the people that come here, and also how the music and the session is composed in a way that is emotional regulation, so regulating the emotion. We have like a journey, an ending, middle part, so and then there's release. So I think it's very interesting to have that, and it's an essential part of the idea. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I think maybe we have some time to open it up to the floor. I'm sure a lot of you have questions or are curious about the performance. Yeah. So we can't see you, so just please excuse.
Very good evening, Dr. Kamal Sabran. My name is Ross, down here. Of course, beside me is our good friend, Randolph Ariola. Thank you so much for taking the time to come to Singapore to showcase this performance. The performance tonight is much more intense than yesterday's. And the news, the pretty news, represents the path of time. It could also represent the struggles that we all face in life. And the dialogue or the monologue that was presented during the soundscape and the movements and all that has elements of Islam through supplication, prayers, not to give up hope, to believe in faith, and to leave it all to God. My question is that if you are to pitch this performance to the National Arts Council in Malaysia, would this be ever get an approval? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Yes, I think we got no problem in Malaysia. I've been performing quite. I think this is more like something that I always, did in many time. And also I think the thing I can understand that because we are combining between the Islamic Sufism philosophy and also crossing the modern approach and something like that, it could be looks like a problematic approach in terms of questioning and how we deliver the message. But to me, we live in a modern world. This is the new way of we communicate message. If not, it will become more like a nasheed, a preaching kind of, like a kutubah, Juma'at or something like that. But this is more like a new, to me, if you ask me, this is kind of, I call it a kind of innovative methodology for you to attract new viewer, for example, or contemporary audience. And that's why we performing in National Gallery and several others. And back in Malaysia too, we actually performing in national space, for example, like National Art Galleries and also some other places without any problem. I think the problem is the people who got the problem. Like me, I think we did positive things, sending love messages, asking or ask everyone together to remember our creator. Nothing problem with that. I hope that answer you. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Is there another question?
Hi, I just had one quite a straightforward question actually. Dr. Sabran, can you talk a little bit about the technical setup that you have behind you? What what are the devices you have, and what is the role the different devices play? Yeah, if you could, tell us more about it.
Maybe I can show you like this. this one. I built this especially for this performance. So this is the first time that I've been on stage. I built this just for National Gallery. So it made from the, science device, like a laboratory equipment. So I have like a radio frequency over here, so we manipulate. So it's very kind of touchy place where we can, when you touch, then it becoming more like a theremin, but it's more in a strange way. And also I have here, this one is the main of the entire performance, where the sound of the, what we call the wave, the rain and everything is becoming here. So it's more like a sampler over here. And I have this small instrument. It's small but a monster in terms of sound. It has a range of frequency from the lowest and to the highest frequency, something that probably will kill mosquito at the highest frequency, yeah. And this one, the TC Helicon, is more like a voice transformer, where I can make it more lower, like a more lower, more better, and it catch your heart. So that one. This is the one here in the center is the mixer, and also it can record all those instruments, and all the mix in here is ready to be produced as an album. Probably later on we can publish it as a live album performance, that one. So this is more like the centerpiece of the thing. And Taki bring his own modular synthesizer over here. So it's more like a manipulation, sound manipulation. I send out one of the output channel to him so that he can further manipulate. And everything here from Arif sent to his Zoom mixer and recorder, and his output coming up to my main mixer, and the output goes to them, the sound engineer over there. You know, the one who actually blow up everything. If you get hurt with the sound, it's not from me, it's from them. So maybe you want to share something about your instrument, Arif?
Yes, please share, Arif, because I know that you both went back to, they both went back to Arif's studio and they picked out and decided on the instruments for the performances. Share.
Actually, it's Kamal's decision to choose the instrument that I play. All the instruments that you see me playing is not a conventional way of playing the instrument. Like, for example, the sitar is not supposed to play with a pick, and I use a pick, and the cello is not supposed to be played lying down like this. And I don't even know what's the name of this instrument. I bought it from Vietnam. And his idea is to use wood sound as much as possible from my side. And everything just goes through a delay and goes through Dr. Kamal. Yeah.
Okay, my setup, I'm using multiple modular modules. Some of them, one of it, you can hear the gamelan, like a gong sound, gamelan sound. So it's like I'm a xylophone and marimba player, so I play those, and also gamelan. So that's my major instrument, but this is a modular electronic setup, so I try to emulate like a gamelan sound, and I have the output of everything. I can record it and pitch it up and down. slow it down, morph it into a lot of sounds, and I have a reverb module, and I'm using Zoom to record my vocals. Yes, and this another one, so sending to Kamal through this small mixer. Yep, that's all.
Okay, I have one question, and maybe we can go for one more question for the audience. I think one of the things that me and Jolene noticed was the fact that there was obviously wood instruments, and then you have electronic instruments as well. So maybe do you want to share a bit about the thinking behind putting those kind of instruments together?
We communicate mostly using vibration because everything is vibrates. So obviously instruments has vibration and frequency. Frequency and vibration is actually not just a sound that we can hear from our ear, but it's actually a message. It's a sound message. That's why, for example, like a song is a direct message because it communicates with the lyrics, right? But our performance doesn't have lyric and song and verse and everything. So everything is actually purely communicate with you, the feeling, the things that you feel, the things that you hate, the thing that you love, the thing that makes you think, is everything transferring from the string. Purely is a vibration. And the reason why we use the combination of electronics and also the analog acoustic is just because of the vibration. And we use mostly, I could say, analog synthesizer. And that one is also analog. It is less digital, of course. Digital, but mostly analog. You can tweak, you can adjust, and live. So the what we call the gesture of controlling things actually almost the same with how we play the instrument. And if you see Arif also play the instrument, it's not like normally what people play. It's more like producing sound. So because Arif want people to communicate, sending the message through his sound. He has something in his heart, in his mind, without using words. He's transferring all of this to the instrument. So the instrument and the sound speak to you in a way you are not directly understand, because it's a different level of communication. It is because we can, our brain, our ear can receive the higher level of frequency. The frequency talk to our mind and our heart to make the decision or to translate it as anything. So how you perceive the sound is actually individual. It's not a really kind of, it's more like a subjective kind of thing. I hope that I answer you.
Yeah, that did. Maybe we take one more question and we can wrap up the evening.
Ni soalan susah ni.
Hello, Dr. Kamal.
Soalan senang, please.
And everybody in the group, Rose, my friend, my buddy, and I, have watched yesterday's show and today's show, and we'd like to congratulate you and invite everybody to give them a round of applause for a very inspired performance. It was really intense. Thank you very much. I'd like to also share with everybody in the house that Dr. Kamal Sabran has been a wonderful host. He has hosted 2 of my events, inviting me and fellow musicians from around the world in the Live Loop Asia events. And what Dr. Kamal Sabran has been doing in USM Penang is incredibly admirable. Please give him a round of applause for making this possible. Thank you very much. I've been waiting for this moment actually for you. My question that I would like to ask, having the last chance to ask this, I would like to actually address Syimah. I'm already a fan of what you and the rest of the sound manipulators are doing. But I've always been very fascinated by movement, because it is not in my nature to be a dancer or anything else other than just performing. But I would like to ask Syimah, like, I don't think it would be the same performance without your involvement, your complementary performance itself. So my question is, would you like to elaborate, like, where do you draw your inspiration from all the various movements that you employ in your movement? What are you feeling? What are you thinking in the moment against what you're hearing in this space and time here?
Wow. Thank you for the question. That's a lot to unpack right now. However, at the top of my head, I think when we were talking about the work itself, and Kamal specifically mentioned about how I'm free to explore with the concept as well, I tap on my own practice because I believe that healing, for me, what healing means would be forgiveness and acceptance. To think about where I am in this moment, my state of being, my mental health, my body. So taking in everything, even before I begin my performance, it becomes a ritual. So I started even at the back, ensuring that I begin with the clear state of mind, nothing else in my mind except whatever I'm listening, and experiencing the energy in space, because it's not just the performance, but also the audience, to really acknowledge where everyone is at as much as I'm acknowledging mine. So that was also my source of inspiration, how I begin. And then subsequently following the score, staying true to the concept of the work and Kamal's direction, and paying respect to all of my collaborators, and not forgetting my own journey. And I think that is often mentioned in the work. Do you do you, Kamal keeps pushing for that. So I think whatever that happened yesterday and today is definitely not the same. The energy is different, the call and response, the action and reaction from every single one of us was different. The journey, the pathway was different. And I think that's what's exciting for me, because you never know what's happening. And then how I interact with the audience when you look at a person and you don't necessarily communicate, but then you acknowledge their presence and the energy they give you, their response when they shift a little, and then how do I respond back? I think that was what that happened. And that gives me, the push and the motivation to keep going. That was my source of inspiration today. That was the fire today. And the news I picked up today was because I was so inspired by whatever that was happening on stage. Yesterday didn't quite happen, and I let it be. It's not meant to be, but today it was meant to be. And then new things evolve. It's like butterfly morphing into something. So it was going somewhere, and I just went with it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just blabbing. Is that? but yes, that was what that drive me today, and I hope that kind of answered your question as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Syimah.
Thank you.
Please join me in thanking them again.